Well, I guess I got to get this thing started. I'd like to welcome everybody to Oklahoma State University on this historic day. I'd like to recognize all the athletes and the coaches that are here. This is your day. This is about today for you and your future. I'd also like to mention that our head football coach and his staff are in Dallas for the football coaches convention, so they couldn't be here today, but I'm sure that if they're listening in on the web. And I'd also like to recognize Dan Beebe. He's the Senior Associate Commissioner of the Big 12 Conference, and he's here representing Kevin Weiberg. We appreciate you being here, Dan. Before we go any further, I'd like to put in perspective, if I can, and I probably can't, but I'll take a stab at it. It's pretty tough for an old golf coach, but I'd like to put this in perspective, what we're talking about today. From 1967 to 1987, Oklahoma State University spent a grand total of $11.7 million on facilities. I don't know this for a fact, but I think most of that was probably borrowed money. We went into debt to build those things. The rest of the Big 8 Conference was moving ahead at that same time. From 1987 until 1999, we spent zero, nothing. We did build a golf course. I guess I should count that in there. That's the first thing that we built around here without using any debt. But basically, we just stayed dead in the water from 1967 to 1999. 1999, we spent $55 million renovating our wonderful facility here, Gallagher-Iba Arena. And it's been voted by some the #1 basketball arena in America. I'm not going to argue with that. We're proud of that fact. And that had a tremendous impact on our sports that play in this arena. In 1994, John Smith's wrestling team won the national championship. They didn't win another national championship until 2003. That was 3 years after the completion of Gallagher-Iba renovation. I think there's a direct correlation there. As a matter of fact, they won the national championship in 2003, 2004, 2005. I think it's had a dramatic impact on our ability to recruit high school athletes and outstanding athletes in basketball. Our basketball program under Eddie Sutton's leadership had the #1 recruiting class in America last year. The other program that's benefited from a great facility is our golf programs. They're still very competitive. They have arguably the best collegiate facility in America. And today, in the Big 12 Conference, those are basically the only teams that we have that are competitive at this level, the ones that have done something about their facilities. The last 10 years of the Big 8 Conference, we won 43 conference championships. The first 10 years of the Big 12 Conference, we've only won 18. That's still a lot of conference championships, but not nearly as good as we were before. Granted, the Big 12 Conference is more competitive. But I point to Nebraska, one of our sister institutions to the north. They won 53 conference championships the last 10 years they were a member of the Big 8. And since they've joined the Big 12 with us, they've won 47 conference championships. I think that's a direct reflection on the amount of money they invested in their facilities and in their program. Our budget, another part of this issue, we ranked 9th in the conference in terms of overall budget, $35 million. That's a lot of money. But it's still $40 million behind the University of Texas, $25 million behind University of Oklahoma, and $20 million behind Nebraska. These new facilities that we're about to build are going to increase our overhead. This gift today does not address that. If you're going to have a championship program, you're going to have a budget to match. You don't compete at the highest level in Division I and get it at bargain basement prices. It just doesn't work that way. The teams that have facilities and have the funding and have the coaching, they have an opportunity to be competitive, and that's what we're looking for here. So with this gift today, there comes a huge responsibility on the part of myself, everyone within this department, every Cowboy supporter, wherever you may live today. It's no different than when I was a golf coach and I recruited a great student athlete that could have gone to any other institution. I had a responsibility to that young man to give him the same opportunity to succeed at a high level in our program that he could have had any other place that he went. The same thing comes with this gift today. This gives us an opportunity to get in the ball game with everybody else. But it's just an opportunity. It's just the first step. And all of us now have a responsibility to step up and do more. Whatever you've been doing, you need to do more. It's an opportunity to reach high. And the question is going to be the same one that I asked in the press conference 4 months ago when I was introduced as the athletic director. The question is, how good do you want to be, and what are you willing to do? How much are you willing to sacrifice to get there? That being said, I would like to introduce the president of Oklahoma State University, Dr. David Schmidley, to introduce our special guest and get the program going. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Holder, and I want to welcome all of you here in Stillwater and all of the OSU fans and the sports fans that are joining us around the world watching via the webcast. This is the ultimate in orange letter days, and I hope you can tell I tried to dress for the occasion. And thanks to Boone Pickens, we are building the best to become the best. It was Boone's $70 million pledge in 2003 that kick-started the much-needed renovation or reconstruction of what is now Boone Pickens Stadium. You can just see that out the window here to the right. When completed, our football stadium will be second to none in the country. That gift started Oklahoma State on an exciting path to the next level. Well, today, thanks to Mr. Pickens, it's the next level and beyond for the university. Today's gift is an important complement to our Achieving Greatness strategic plan and our campus master plan. Those plans feature more than $700 million in new academic, student life, infrastructure, and athletic construction over the next 5 years or so. Athletics, academics, and student life must all fit together to build a nationally competitive institution. And that's what we intend to do at Oklahoma State. Athletics and success in athletics generates a number of benefits. National attention, increased donor support, not only for athletics, but for academics. Increased interest from prospective students. It helps us recruit students. A boost in pride and loyalty for everyone connected to Oklahoma State. And a big boost to the Stillwater economy. Boone Pickens has been a generous supporter of Oklahoma State University, both academically and athletically. In addition to our football stadium, our School of Geology bears his name. While his gifts have made a huge impact at OSU, Boone's generosity extends far beyond Stillwater. In fact, if you look at the numbers, he is rapidly earning status as one of America's greatest philanthropists. Today, Mr. Pickens is making a gift that will truly elevate our athletic program. It's a record gift, the largest single donation ever given to an NCAA collegiate athletic program. The gift will allow us to build premier men's and women's facilities. We'll help fund the following projects: completion of the west end zone of Boone Pickens Stadium, new multi-purpose indoor practice complex, new soccer, track, and tennis facilities, new baseball stadium, new outdoor practice fields, new equestrian facilities. Boone Pickens is a man of great vision, generosity, and passion for Oklahoma State University. And he's joined today by his beautiful wife, Madeline, who I must tell you has become equally passionate for Oklahoma State University. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to announce today that Boone Pickens has given Oklahoma State University a remarkable, record-setting cash gift of $165 million.
Thanks. I think the last gift was, well, it wasn't the last one, but the one I was standing up here was in 2003, and I said it it was my privilege to do that. It's the same thing today. You know, you see Holder, the golf coach, and you see Holder, the AD. It's kind of interesting to see the transition from where he was to where he is, because he was so passionate about golf and winning and building the golf course, and all of us saw that. And I think, what do you have, 8, 9 championships? 8 NCAA championships in 32 years. That's easy. That's one every 4 years. And anyway, but you notice he kept jabbing in at points that we borrowed money for facilities, and that we that we paid, and we owe, and things like that. Debt bothers Mike. It really does. And this all came about hours of conversation, and I should recognize here Bobby Stillwell, who is right back here, and all in the athletic department now know Bobby Stillwell. Bobby's a University of Texas grad. He and I have been associated in business since 1964, and go back a long way. Bobby had he worked for the University of Texas, not as an employee, but as a supporter of the university. He's a great lawyer, and we now have pretty well got him over here to Oklahoma State, where we can draw on his vast knowledge. He's of course still a Longhorn, and very, very happy over the Wednesday night win. And I really think, as for Big 12 Conference, that was great. It was for the state of Texas, great. I'd like to give the University of Texas a hand for that. But moving forward, that we've, with 165 million in cash, and tell you kind of how it came about. We had another idea, and I won't go into that, but it was one that was going to accomplish the same thing. But it did have debt involved, and Coach Holder kept, he's got an MBA, and so he knows how to run a spreadsheet, and he keeps coming up with the numbers that we have to have more money on the front end of this to accomplish what we need to do quickly. And time is very important to me, as you can imagine, at 77 years old. I don't, I want to, Ace Greenberg said one time in New York, he's raising money, he said, Boone Pickens does it the right way. He gives the money and then sees what happens. He doesn't die and then give the money and never know. So it's, I like that. I mean, I do that. And so here, in discussions with Mike, we were in quail season, still are, but we were hunting together, and we sit and talk about Oklahoma State for hours after we hunt. And he said, we've got to get more money up front for this deal. And then we got around to, are you up to it? Me. And I said, baby, I'm not sure. I said, we've got to get competitive, and that's what we keep falling back to.